What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close 3.06% in the green, so fairly good day. So you had PPI coming out first thing, better than anticipated. So that was at 0.2, forecast was 0.3. So generally good stuff. You had, unfortunately, the broader market relatively negative because of just last minute jitters. CPI, so even the forecast right now being 2.9 is a little bit high, and these are currently the estimates by a lot of the bigger names out there. So it's kind of crazy that UBS is actually forecasting 3.3, but beside the point, SoFi did do fairly well. A lot of signs that it really wanted to break out. So 1423 the low, 1486 the high, and 32.11 million shares being traded, 43.3 is the average. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So kind of in line with the frequency, but a little bit more buying. So generally something good. No actual news associated to SoFi, no SEC filings, but there was something that did come out. And I've never understood that and why it happens to SoFi, but there was a new analyst rating for whatever reason. Even though SoFi's earnings like a week and a bit away, why not give a rating? It doesn't make sense. But Citi, Andrew, who has a 56% success rating, did give a buy at $18 price target. So the second highest rating. First one was done last month by John Jeffries, so 59% success rating. So $18 is definitely very, very bullish, and that's kind of piggybacking off of Barclays' bullish $16 rating as well. So let me know your viewpoint on this. As a consensus, though, you still do have it relatively low. So as a consensus, $13.19 is that price target, and that does represent a 9.03% downside. So I think just Wall Street does struggle with innovative companies, and SoFi is trying to shake up one of the oldest sectors in the market. So it isn't an easy task. I know when I first started covering SoFi, I always said that, because it's even at this stage in the game, like 2 years after me starting to cover it, it's still not going to be an easy task. You're going to have a lot more manipulation. You're going to have a lot of these random $5, $4, $8 price targets, and most likely, if for strategic timing, Wedbush and Compass Point, probably they'll give a rating or re-rate their very low ratings probably right before their earnings, just to kick it down a little bit more. That's obviously the manipulation. And SoFi and David, I don't know why David's ratings are always so powerful, but whenever he says sell, the market just sells for whatever reason. But beside the point, that's one thing that really also gave SoFi a nice push higher. Aside from that, shorts didn't do all that much. And for those of you that kind of watch my videos daily, you'd notice that they haven't been doing all that much for the last week. So even last week, they increased almost every day, but it's these small amounts, like 30,000. So 29,000 today. 11.91% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 127.03 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 0.22. So that has gone down a little bit, and it is getting to my target. So I did state before their earnings, short interest would probably be around that 11% range. So if they keep on doing what they're doing, maybe it'll get there before the earnings. So we'll wait and see. But it is rather interesting to see shorts just sit back. Maybe they're waiting for CPI data tomorrow just to either pounce or fully just get the hell out of Dodge and just let SoFi finally move up in peace. But aside from that, 12 million in calls, 2.72 million in puts, 44% of all the options being done today were bearish in nature. And just looking, today was kind of low, so 15.1 million in total premiums. 19.9 yesterday, 26 on Friday, 18. And so today kind of broke that 4-day red trend that it's been going on. And even aside from that, looking at the put/call ratio, kind of moving in the right direction. So definitely the options are looking fairly good despite the overall sentiment being negative. These are all the call options that are being purchased, so consensus for it to be above 16 for this week, even next week, and then 16.50 for January the 31st. So that would encumber, of course, their earnings. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 13 for this week, so more of a fuller breakdown. And oddly, you're seeing for the week of their earnings, consensus for it to be sub 12. So nothing really crazy stands out for that. And even leading into today, as I brought up in my video yesterday, there was going to be some extreme price action for SoFi, because it was a unique circumstance. So it's either going to break out significantly or pull back, and it kind of followed the technicals to a T. So with it at 14 or closing at 14.50, it is now trading between this S1 and this S2. So 14.11 is going to be the next strong support. Luckily enough, it wasn't really tested whatsoever today. And then 14.73 is going to be that next strong target / resistance point that you really want to watch for it to break above tomorrow, and with CPI and all that fun stuff. So just take a mental note of some of the strong support and resistance points. But for those of you that watch my pre-market video before even SoFi started to move higher, you can tell that it really wanted to hit this S1. Just in my opinion, I don't think there was enough there for it to kind of stay above. But with good CPI, then yeah, you could easily see it get back to this 15.72 in a matter of no time. So aside from the actual analyst rating, which was fairly good, I've been monitoring, no real changes for estimates or anything like that. So I gave you an update on that yesterday, so no change for there. And on the actual chart itself, so today it was able to fight back and get above the ALMA, showing some signs that it does want to really move higher. So it is all truly going to come down onto the data point. So if CPI comes in better than anticipated, I'd say roughly like the 2.7 at least, then yeah, you'll see a very, very nice aggressive push higher. Flip side could happen because right now it is below the 50-day moving average. So historically speaking, it does result in a little bit more of a pullback. So I think SoFi is really trying to fight and defy that. But obviously, like I said, with the data coming out, that's either going to really significantly move it higher, or flip side, really bring it down closer to probably that 100-day moving average. But one thing to really work in SoFi's way, though, is the fact that it is very oversold. So if SoFi puts out a good piece of news, for instance, or just good macro data, then yeah, you'll see a rush of value investors getting into SoFi, really propelling it higher. And probably if I was on the ball a little bit more, I would have actually sold some puts today. Just honestly, today was a rather busy day, so I didn't really do all that much in transactions. So even this week, I haven't done any options with SoFi. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I can't speak today, but I love selling puts because I have the end goal of trying to collect premiums, but in the end, if I get the shares, it's a win-win, because I believe in SoFi bigger picture, and I suggest a lot of you to research options such as selling puts on stocks that you're going to be buying regardless and that you actually like for the long term. So either brings you premiums or you get the shares at a kind of better price in general. So it's a win-win. Take advantage and kind of research that and whatever else. So let me know your thoughts on the analyst rating. On shorts not really doing all that much. Do you think they're waiting for CPI or some other point? And then when it comes down to the technicals, do you think that we are going to break lower to kind of the low end right over here? So going on the fib levels. So the S3, do you think we're going to be orienting towards there or back to this pivot point? So what's your thoughts? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. So pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.